Okay, now this is the best place to take a shit because you can watch it fall down. You know? Oh, Jiglet, yep, it's there. This kind of stuff is cool. That you do.
Yo, what's up, you busted ass bitches? I'm just fucking with you. What's up, everybody? Chris Swifty here, bringing you a video about a game that you've probably never heard of before, and it's called Scum. It's an open world, hardcore survival MMO based around a game show where criminals are thrown onto an island to survive, with chips implanted in the back of their heads. Now, you might think this sounds a lot like a Battle Royale game, but no, it's not another Battle Royale knockoff. It's more similar to DayZ, but it's going to be a hell of a lot better. Now, I do have a shit ton of information about this game that I learned by watching the devs stream on Twitch during PAX East. So let's go ahead and delve deep into the Scum files. Alright, that was just weird. Anyways, first thing we're going to talk about is the release date. The release date is either going to be April, May, or June. I doubt it's going to release this month, although I really wish it would, because this year has been quite lacking in good game releases. Other than Far Cry 5 and the upcoming God of War, there really hasn't been anything worth playing, and it would be nice to have this month. But sadly, I don't think it's going to come out until probably the middle of May. The good thing is we are getting DayZ 0.63 to experimental this month, and that should hold us over until the definitive survival game comes out, aka Scum. Alright, so the price point for this game is supposedly under $40. That's what the devs kept saying. But during the first stream that I watched at PAX East, Devolver Digital, the publisher of the game, actually said it was going to be between $20 and $30, and I like that much better. And I'm hoping for 20 or 25 tops. I feel like no early access game should surpass $25 on Steam. Shouldn't be 30, shouldn't be 40, shouldn't be 50, shouldn't be 60. 25 is the most you should be able to charge for early access because it's an incomplete game. And, you feel me. The server player count is going to be 64. So you're going to have 64 players per server. So it's going to be you and 63 other kill-on-siters. Because that's what it's going to be like. It is so hard to find some cool role-playing individuals unless you're actually in a whitelisted roleplay server where roleplay is enforced. You're usually not going to be able to find some cool people that want to roleplay in a public server, sadly. Alright, something else cool about this game is there's actual character creation. You're going to be able to give your character a name, age, choose their body type, their head type, their skin color, their gender. You're going to be able to give them tattoos, give them flaws, choose the crime that they committed that got them put on this island. You're going to be able to choose their gear, their hat, their shirt, their pants, their shoes, and you're also going to be able to choose their attributes. Now this is where the game differs from pretty much every other survival game. It's going to have RPG elements similar to Fallout. Now in Fallout, you had 7 attributes, the special: strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. In this game, you only have 4. You have strength, constitution, dexterity, and intelligence. And under each one of those attributes, you have a number of skills that you can put points towards. Let's go ahead and talk about those skills, shall we? Let's name them off. So under the strength attribute, we have unarmed combat, rifles, handguns, melee, weapons throwing, heavy weapons, and archery. Under constitution, we have running, endurance, resistance, and swimming. Under dexterity, we have stealth, throwing, driving, motorcycling, piloting, sailing, climbing, and picking locks and pockets. And under intelligence, we have awareness, sniping, medical, camouflage, tactics, cooking, survival, programming and electronics, demolition, education and psychology, and biochemistry. So as you can see, intelligence has the most skills under it. It's probably going to be the most important attribute in the game because it'll affect your survival. Because the more points you have towards intelligence, the more points you'll be able to put towards these skills like medical, where you can craft your own med kits, cooking, so you can cook bigger meals that'll keep you fuller a lot longer than a lot of these other players that are out here starving. Survival, which will help you crafting weapons, makeshift knives, barbed wire baseball bats, etc. Then you have demolition. You'll be able to craft C4 and other explosives. Education and psychology. You'll be able to become a teacher, teach other players how to do things. You'll even be able to be their therapist if need be. There's just all sorts of cool things that could come out of putting your points towards intelligence, and I think that's the route I'm probably going to take. I think I'm going to put most of my points towards intelligence. The rest of them will probably go towards strength, because you got to have that strength for the unarmed combat when you're getting into those brutal fist fights, or if you want to shoot a fucking AK without the bullets spraying all over the place, you want to be able to control that recoil. So I'm gonna have to level my character out. I'll figure it out when the fucking game comes out. Anyways, let's talk about some more cool features in the game. So as you could see in the dexterity attribute, you can put points towards driving, motorcycling, piloting, and sailing. And they did say that at early access there won't be any vehicles, but they will be adding vehicles throughout the next 2 years of development. So there's going to be cars, trucks, motorcycles, planes, helicopters, boats, etc., etc. And I think probably one of the first forms of transportation they're going to add is a bicycle, if I remember one of the devs saying correctly. So at least probably during early access we'll have a bicycle to hold us over until the big bad cars, trucks, motorcycles, and planes and all that shit come in. Now, the devs did say that there's going to be no base building, fortification only. Now this means that you're not going to be able to build these big fortresses like you see in Rust, Miscreated, H1Z1, or whatever other survival game you're playing. You're not going to see these bases all over the fucking server, in the middle of the highways, in the middle of the roads, in the big cities. That type of shit annoys me, man. Like, it just takes me out of the experience. Like, it just feels so out of place in a survival game to see all these player-made bases everywhere when you already have these pre-established cities, houses, buildings everywhere that you could just take over. It doesn't make sense to build your own place. And luckily, the developers of Scum know that. That's why they made it where you can only fortify pre-established buildings and houses. You can board up the windows, board up the doors, put a lock on it, put your stuff in there, and you're good to go. Now, another cool thing is persistent loot in all the servers. That means you could drop a gun in the woods somewhere, and as long as you go back to that same server, doesn't matter if it's a week later, a month later, that gun will remain there because it's persistent. So you don't have to worry about having specific storage crates or whatever to put your shit in to make sure they don't vanish. You can just drop it wherever you want, go get it, and you're good to go. I fucking love that. Now, I mentioned that the players are gonna have a chip in the back of their head, right? So what this chip does is it keeps track of all your vitals, and you can actually bring it up while you're playing the game, and you can see all your vitals, your heart rate, your pulse, your food intake, your skill levels, etc., etc. I didn't really look at it too in depth, so I don't really know all that much about it. I just know a few things that I've seen, but it looks pretty complicated. They did say that you don't really have to focus on that if you don't want to. They just put it in there for real hardcore players who really want to focus on that type of shit, and that's pretty cool. Now, what else the chip can do is, after you die, it could actually reanimate your corpse, and you'll basically become a zombie, or as they call it, a puppet. So after you die, you will rise from the dead, and your corpse will roam the land. So you could go back to where you died and actually get to kill yourself again if you wanted to. And I think that's pretty kick-ass, man. That's what I was hoping in DayZ. Like, I was hoping they would add where after your player dies, as long as you didn't get shot in the head, you would come back as a zombie. I mean, I'm sure they probably have plans for it, but as you know, DayZ's development is really slow, so we probably won't see that feature till the year 2025. But yeah, that was a pretty cool feature. There's going to be multiple animals in the game. animals that you hunt for food, such as rabbits, and there's also going to be animals that will hunt you for food, such as bears. And I'm sure they're going to be adding deers, birds. I'm hoping they add alligators or crocodiles, man. I really want a survival game where I come across one of those big bad boys. That way you can kill them, chop them up, eat some gator tail. It'll just be amazing. Now here's the feature that I'm looking forward to the motherfucking most. You can poop, pee, and puke. What? Like you can do all three of these things anytime you want in the game. Well, I think you have to actually consume liquid to be able to pee. You'll have to actually eat something to be able to poop. But once you have food and liquid in you, you can choose to poop or pee wherever you want. And that even means on top of a dead player's face, which is what I'm going to do a hell of a lot. Every motherfucking player I kill, I'm going to piss in their face, man. I piss on your face. How'd you like that? And the devs even said after you poop, you can actually pick up your poop and throw it at other players, or you can eat it. So you could take a poop, pick up your poop, eat your poop, and poop out the poop that you just picked up and ate. Boom. Poopception. But one of the other cool features is a feature that I haven't really seen in any other game that I can think of, and it is bullet ricochet. That means if you shoot metal with a low caliber bullet, that bullet could bounce off, come back, hit and kill you, or bounce off, hit and kill a player or an animal, or just go flying into the woods or into the sky, depending on where you shoot it. And that shit's just amazing to me, man. Like imagine a situation where you're pinned down, you got a player shooting at you. You know where he's at. You see like a metal door, a metal fence or something close to him, and you angle that shit just right. You shoot it, that bullet ricochets off and hits that player in the head and he drops dead. What? You gonna toss your headphones down. You gonna get up and do one of those weird Fortnite dances because you're so excited. It's just gonna be a super satisfying moment. One of those moments you won't be able to get in any other game because bullet ricochet don't exist in really any other game. Another cool thing about bullets is that certain calibers can go through certain materials. So let's say you have a pistol, 9mm 45, and you're shooting at wood, brick, or metal. It's most likely not going to go through it. Let's say you have an AK or an M4. Those are some pretty powerful bullets in that gun. So they'll probably go through wood, but most likely wouldn't go through brick or metal. But they did say if you have a Desert Eagle with 50 caliber or a 50 caliber sniper rifle, the bullet would go through any material, wood, brick, or metal. So let's say you got a 50 caliber rifle. A guy ran into a building right behind a metal door. As soon as he closed that shit and you shot at that metal door, that 50 caliber bullet would penetrate the door, penetrate the player, drop his body. Booyah. You just fucked his ass up. Thanks to the realism of Scum. Bullet ricochet, bullet penetration, boom. Who else has that? Nobody. Motherfuckers. Another cool thing about this game, hand-to-hand combat. This shit is advanced, I am telling you. This ain't no weak-ass DayZ left-right punching system. No. Once you go in the melee combat mode, you actually control the camera. You control the angle at which you punch. You can do heavy punches, light punches. You can do uppercuts, downward punches. You can do Superman punches, low kicks, mid kicks, high kicks. You can dodge, lean left and right, lean backwards when somebody's swinging at you. You can block. I mean, this shit looks so fucking good, dude. And it can only get better because the devs said that they're going to be adding all sorts of different martial arts styles that a more advanced unarmed combat player can use to their advantage. And I'm hoping they add some tackles, some ground and pound. They said that they were going to be adding some Muay Thai, so you can do some of those roundhouse kicks and shit. I would like them to add jujitsu, but I don't really see that working out too well in an open world survival game. Although it would be pretty awesome to sneak up on a player and then hit them with a rear naked choke, or, you know, tackle them to the ground and snap their arm in two with an arm bar. But we'll see what happens in the future. Another feature this game has that most other survival games don't is vaulting and climbing, similar to PUBG. So you know how in DayZ, if you have a horde of zombies chasing after you and you're running and then you come across one of those little fences and then you try and hop over it, but you can't because the jump button is fucking stupid. So you just keep getting caught on it, and all of a sudden you got this horde of zombies just smacking the shit out of you. It's not the case in Scum. As long as you have stamina and you got some zombies or players or animals chasing you, all you got to do is press the jump button, hop right over the fence, hop right over the wall, hop right into a window. Don't matter. Fluid movement like you're playing Assassin's Creed, and I fucking love it. There's also swimming, but you have to take into account the amount of weight that you have on your character when you go for a swim. The more weight you have, the slower you're going to swim, and if you have too much weight, you'll just sink to the bottom like an anchor, and that's not good. So if you got a big ass book bag filled with a bunch of heavy shit, you better drop some of that shit, because if you go for a swim, you're just going to sink to the bottom and you're going to lose it all, or you're going to have to swim to the bottom, grab a few items, take it back to land, go back down, grab a few items, and you don't want to repeat that process. So just only keep what you really need in your book bag, because you don't want to drown. There's also fishing, they said, so you'll be able to catch some fish, have a little fish fry, some fish and chips. Now, like I said, I hope they add alligators or crocodiles, because I would love to go fishing, then all of a sudden have this alligator just hop up out of nowhere, bite me, pull me into the water and start shaking me, and then I get a chance to just start punching the fucker in the eyeball. Hell yes. I used to love that shit in Far Cry 3. Alright, so the final thing I'm going to talk about are these random events that will occur while you're playing the game. Now, these events are optional. You don't have to participate in them, but they will give you extra fame points. And in this game, fame points will be used for when you respawn. So let's say you have 0 fame points. You die, then you just respawn with nothing. But if you have fame points, you could put those towards respawning with a book bag and some food, maybe spawn with a knife, some other type of melee weapon. I don't think they're going to make it where you can respawn with a gun, but they might, maybe a pistol or something. But yeah, you definitely want to get your fame points up. That way when you die, you respawn with something other than the clothes on your back. But they were showing off one of the random events, and it was called cargo capture. It's basically like capture the flag in Call of Duty, where you have a team of 5 versus another team of 5, and your goal is to just capture the cargo. So there's a lot of shooting, a lot of dying, a lot of respawning, and then the winning team gets the fame points, and then you get thrusted back into the open world, and you get to survive a lot longer. So, alright everybody, that was all the information I have about Scum. I hope it got you excited about the game if you haven't heard of it before. I will be leaving a link to their gameplay playlist on their channel. That way you can go check it out. I think they got like 11 or 12 gameplay videos. They show off the melee combat, they show off the swimming, they show off some survival tactics, whole bunch of stuff. Just check out all the videos, man. You'll get just as hype as I am, guaranteed. Especially if you're a DayZ fan or an open world zombie survival fan in general. This game definitely needs to be on your radar, because these guys seem really dedicated. They want to make the best survival game possible, and I think they're going to pull it off. Hey you. Yeah, you. The one that's still watching this video. Go ahead. Hit that subscribe button. You know you want to. I mean, if you made it this far, you must be somewhat interested in me. Trust me, I got a shit ton of good videos. Not just this one. So subscribe and go check them out. Help a broke bitch out.